18. I do not think I have any comment to make, maybe to add a little, because whatever needs to be said, you've articulated it. So for me, I've come here and I'm very glad. When I was coming for learning, not to tell you anything, because I've been taught enough, I've taken the documents, I've filed it. It's a wonderful document. If we implement whatever is written here, there's nothing again to do. Whoever does this has achieved all that it needs to be achieved. And that brings me to what I've always said about our country. Nigeria is not bereft of ideas, written solutions, and everything. What is lacking is institutional framework and the political will to do the right thing. We are 18 of us now going around applying for a job of the president. You, the owners of the country, are interviewing all of us. And it is important. We're going to tell you the same story. Nobody's story, everybody's story will be as sweet as the other ones. What we are going to do now is to put your binoculars to check the sincerity and the truth and the one you can trust. It is now, who among these 18 can you trust? Because there's no promise you are going to make that was not been made by people in the past. That promise has always been there. But it is who have delivered this trust. Everybody's going to tell you now how they're going to go take you to heaven. Until after election, they start reminding you where you're coming from. In the past, which you have forgotten. That's the reason why you're hiring us now. And that's what I told people yesterday. I will not look at the past. Most of the things you've enumerated here are the things I said. And all I want to do is to move the country from consumption to production. It is not a productive country. People say, what is your priority? I said it. My priority is to secure and unite the country. It's number one thing you need to do. Because the first job, you said here is a failed or a failing state. Because we want to be polite with our country, Nigeria have hit the two most critical things that qualify the country for a failed state. Number one, when you're no longer in control of your territory. We are no longer in control of the air. Number two is when you're no longer in control of your economy. Nobody can tell you today how much they're going to sell a bag of rice tomorrow. Not in this country. You just ask somebody to go to market. When he comes back, whatever price he gives you, take it. That's the price for the day. No country can function like that. Anybody, people say now they are traveling to the east. Your family say they are traveling anywhere now. East, west, north, everywhere. You are waiting until they reach there and phone you. Then you cannot eat. Otherwise, you're not sure. So that is the crisis we faced. The question is, how are we going to do this? You saw the last report. We have now moved where we have over 133 million people living in poverty. No country can have that number of people living in poverty and you will face the crisis we're facing. And how did we get here? All that you've said here that is not happening is cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years, which we can say supported by complacency of our people. So I assure you that I'm committed. Let me say it first. I'm committed to what the charter. The only thing that is there is how do we implement it? The will to implement it. And I can tell you, people People, I believe that we need to restructure. I believe in all this. But even as bad as this present constitution is, there's a lot of guarantees in it, and there's a lot of things that you can implement it that can make it work. It's not what is stopping us from production. No. What is stopping us from production is that over the years, we have had incompetent leadership. And it's not just president, at all levels, because they're cumulative thing. You might have one or two people who mean well, but at the end of the day, 75% of the people don't know what they need to do. The country is failing. That's why we've created too many. So what are we going to do? I say again, secure and unite the country. It is critical. Because when you secure the country, you are able to bring your farmers to go back to the farm. That alone will start bringing down your food inflation. The food inflation is the most critical inflation you need to hit on. And then talk about moving the country, because I want to interact, I want to listen to people, I want them to ask me questions. Moving the country, by the time you move it from consumption to production, you're pulling people out of poverty. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. I was seeing the Canadian ambassador this morning, and I said, you used to have agitation in your country. There's agitation all over the place. There's criminality all over the place. Brazil, everywhere. Used to go through what we're going through now. India used to have a problem. They couldn't feed themselves. I said to him, why is Canada today a place everybody wants to go? Because you've turned around your economy. You've put people out of poverty. Agitations and all the problems died. Because if people know where the next millions come from, they reduce the agitation, they reduce their criminality and everything. And I've gone to prisons and seen young people and asked them, why did you do what you did? They will tell you they have no job. They have no means of livelihood. You can't have 33% unemployment in a huge country like Nigeria, and you will have crisis. You can't have 60%, almost 60% youth unemployment, which means millions of your young people with energy and talent are not doing anything. They have to exert that energy somewhere. You can't have, because they don't have anywhere to exert it, they've gone into drugs. You have 13.8% drug prevalence against the global average of about 5-point-something percent. You have a crisis. To deal with that crisis is production.